All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on my favorite prop bets here for this Sunday. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I actually want to start with some good EV bets here that we have on Underdog right now. So right now we have really just two that are, kind of plus EV bets. If you pair them together, we got Malik Hooker for over 1.5 tackle, or sorry, just assists there. That's a seemingly good one. Obviously, we always want to be attacking those ones that have a 54% likelihood or better to hit. And then Chase Brown to get over a touchdown as well. Zach Moss is going to be out today, so that's why someone like Malik Hooker is popping up to get his over touchdowns. And so if you look at it, yeah, it's been a while since like Zach Moss has scored a touchdown. Okay, but Zach Moss has 3 on the season. And then you get Chase Brown in a matchup that they should be winning in, someone that has consistently scored touchdowns, for the most part, then yeah, I would agree that he is likely to at least get a solid opportunity to score a touchdown. And so I would agree with that percent likelihood of him scoring a touchdown. And so because of that, we would be wanting to chase the over. And then Jalen Coker, I don't mind for his over receiving yards. It really just depends on how many snaps like Xavier Legat's going to play and also Adam Thielen's going to play. If you guys follow me for NFL DFS coverage on the 9 to 5 write-up, I kind of mentioned him in passing last week as someone I really like as like a talent, as like a sleeper. This is pretty high though, honestly. I get why it's popping up here on the Underdog cheat sheet, just simply because it's off by a few yards. And so, yeah, I could kind of get behind that. Then Jamar Chase as well. We got slight edges there. Now, this is just without the fantasy score. We'll get into the fantasy score in just a second, but I want to jump into prize picks as well here for you guys. Again, this is with me filtering out the fantasy score just for NFL. What we're going to see is we're seeing some touchdowns again. We got Chase Brown there. That's okay. DeAndre Swift to not score a touchdown. I don't know if I exactly agree with that. We got Trey Tucker over receiving yards. That's okay. Looking at that game, they probably will be playing from behind. He is their receiver number 2. Jacoby Myers is back, which in a way I think actually kind of helps the likelihood of Trey Tucker to succeed. He's not a number 1. You need another player that's a number 1 there. And I think Jacoby Myers really alleviates some of the attention there for Trey Tucker. He's someone that probably will get at least 2 design touches as well. It's just whether or not those are going to be receptions or rushes. Patrick Mahomes to get 4.5 rush attempts. I'm kind of okay with that. Will any of those be a QB kneel at the end of the game? Would be nice. We'll see. After that, I actually really like these two right here. So Jamar Chase to get over 6.5 receptions. We saw him get that last game with T. Higgins off the field. T. Higgins is going to be off the field again today. And then Rico Dowdle to get over 11 rushing attempts. If we look at an Underdog, the line is at 11.5. Now, you guys know I kind of like Rico in general as a talent. I've kind of mentioned him. Every time the Cowboys try to get like Zeke going, the emphasis is on Zeke too much in a sense where it ends up hurting the offense. And so let's kind of pivot more into some of my favorite prop bets as well. But I want to touch on Rico as well because there is one bet that I like for him. Rico is someone that has consistently been able to get over his receiving line that we have here. I actually like the over a little bit on Underdog here at 16.5. That 1 yard difference could be the difference between it cashing or not cashing. I really don't mind that. That's a solid slight edge there, especially if he's going to be in for a bigger role, if he's going to be on the field a little bit more. Dalvin Cook got called up. They still have Hunter Lumpke there that's going to be taking snaps. But for the most part, I like the role that Rico is going to be in. And so now we go ahead and jump into some of these fantasy score prop bets that we're going to see here. All kind of interesting. I want to call this one with Tua here. So looking at Tua, this is on PrizePicks. We see that it's off by 1.5 compared to PrizePicks or Underdog. This instantly tells us that we should actually probably just be making the under bet on Underdog, just given the fact that the day is already telling us to bet the under on PrizePicks. So might as well bet the under on Underdog where it's off by 1.5. And then from there, what other kind of edges are we getting that I like? Obviously, we see like Mason Rudolph paired with Calvin Ridley could be a good bet. Maybe a little stacking opportunity there. Again, just want to call it that obviously these fantasy scores, a lot of them are going to be tight. It's the whether or not someone scores a touchdown is pretty much the difference between a bet hitting or not hitting. And typically speaking, we are going to see that the unders are going to be more favored. But we have a bunch that are here. I'm just showing you guys these in case you guys really like one. By all means, go ahead and target that. In terms of fantasy score, we're not getting like massive prop line differences at all. Like Puka, we're seeing Underdog is valuing him a little bit higher than PrizePicks is. So if you think he's going to have a good day, bet the over on PrizePicks. If you think he's going to have a bad day, bet the under on Underdog. We don't know. That's the issue with him, is that he's potentially injured. So yeah, we don't really know there. Yeah, from there, there's just not much. And really, probably my favorite one here, this is one that I already have exposure to, is going to be Jacoby Myers to get his over fantasy score. Again, I just think he's going to be in for a big role. Sure, the matchup maybe not the best, but they're likely to be playing from behind, so I'm kind of happy to use that one as well. And then again, looking at underdog, guys, we have a plethora of under fantasy scores that are popping up that are okay. Like Keenan Allen to get under his fantasy score. Will he get a touchdown? Again, that's pretty much it. Mike Gesicki, he had a lot of receptions last week, but didn't play that much. It was kind of random, I would say, there, so I could get behind that. I don't like the Zach Ertz one. Gabe Davis, I don't like as well. I was really open to bet on some Parker Washington, but we're not getting that. So I do want to get into some of my favorite bets here, just in general for the day. But first, I just want to show kind of the traditional sportsbook bets that are popping up. Again, we typically won't gain edges here. FanDuel is giving us a lot of good percent edges here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 good edges here, where FanDuel is just slightly off compared to the average sportsbook line, so we should be taking advantage really of all those there. And if you guys are someone that plays on Fliff compared to what the projection data is thinking, Jalen Hurts for over his passing yards on Fliff is a really good bet. The average sportsbook line would have him at 214.5. Fliff has it at 213.5. That's a good bet. Bryce Young, I don't know if anyone wants to bet that, but again, compared to the projection data, we should be betting his over passing yards on ESPN Bet. So all good bets there. And then there were a couple of bets that I already gave out earlier on this week. One was Kirk Cousins to get over 16.5 for his fantasy score. That has now been bumped to 17, so kind of just more of a push there. I do still like Ladd McConkey. I'm still betting on this to get over 4.5 receptions. The only issue that I have is that DJ Chark is going to be active in this game, which if you guys followed like preseason and all, Chark was getting pretty much the most hype out of camp out of all the receivers. And so, am I worried about DJ Chark being a thing? Not really. Like, I'm still making this bet, but if we look back on this one and say, what went wrong? It likely will be DJ Chark played a bigger role than really anyone expected. Another player that I want to talk about is going to be Taysom Hill, guys. So, looking at the Saints, they are pretty banged up at the running back position. Now, that doesn't really matter because he kind of has been the RB number 2 already. But with Kendre Miller on the IR, with Jamal Williams out, they are going to need to supplement Alvin Kamara with somebody else, and that player has been Taysom Hill. This offense should be a little bit better as well, and they also get a great matchup there going against Carolina. I think the chances of Taysom Hill scoring a touchdown are great, but I also think the chances of him having like 2 receptions and just meeting the odds, the lines that he's currently listed at, that he should be in for a good day. I want to call it his 44.5 rush receiving yards. That's going to be basically the same on Underdog. And if he gets 1.5 receptions, which is currently what the lines are at, his line on Underdog at like 6.5 is one that I like the over on a decent amount there as well. So before we get in the bet of the day, do just remind you guys to use the promo code KEEPCASH when you sign up for your first 9to5 membership. Get 20% off that first month. So make that $10 membership $8 for the first month. And so kind of looking at what I'm looking at for the bet of the day, I am going to be tossing in Jacoby Myers in here as well for over his fantasy score. I like that. But Jamar Chase to get over 6.5 receptions. We saw that was one of the better bets that's popping up. Chase Brown to score a touchdown as well. Going to be tossing that in there. And then I like Rico to have 11 rushing attempts. Rachaad White to get 3.5 receptions just with how banged up they are. I do still think those receptions are going to be there for him. Alvin Kamara to get over 4.5 receptions. He has consistently hit this over. The one concern would be that they blow out Carolina a little bit too fast and that they just don't need him in the passing game. And I still like Ladd McConkey to get over 4.5 receptions. Again, Jacoby Myers to get his over fantasy score I like. I'm including that in there. Obviously, you can't do 7 bets. And then Chase Brown to get over 0.5 receptions. 0.5 touchdowns, which is what we're betting on Underdog. Okay. And so we did see that these are the 2 best bets that we currently have. And then I like Rico to basically be in a decent role. I don't know. I didn't see that much pop out of Dalvin Cook last week. And I think Rico's kind of clearly their best back. And with Zeke not being there, he might be featured. I'm willing to bet on that. And then Taysom Hill, basically, will he score a touchdown, yes or no? Honestly, like probably a better bet to just bet him on scoring a touchdown because the payouts can be better, but also just giving his rush receiving yards at like 44.5. Even if he gets like 2 receptions, then he's basically there already with that production. And so it's a slight way to hedge that. But either way, I think Hill's going to be in for a decent game regardless. And so, guys, that's going to be it. We'll be coming out with an NBA props video here shortly after this video is posted, so be on the lookout for that as well. Make sure to give a like, subscribe to the channel, comment your guys' favorite bet. Again, if you guys want access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get access to that for just $10 a month. But when you use the promo code KEEPCASHING for your first month, get 8 Get the first month for $8. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.